Hi, DM family. Today we're going to talk about expressing the bowels. This is something that really causes owners of dogs suffering from DM anguish. I have seen many people decide to put their dogs down at the time that the dogs have accidents, and this can be completely preventable. This will not only make you feel better, but this will also prevent your pup from feeling guilt, worry, perhaps even wanting to cover it up that they had an accident by eating their feces, by just circumventing the whole issue, doing preventative measures, expressing that bowel completely. So then you're able to leave in peace and know that when you get home, there will not be an accident. There's a lot of ways that you can go about doing it, and I'm going to be showing you the way that I like best. The reason why I use this method is because I can tell if the bowels are empty. There are other methods that will express feces from your pup, but how do you know that that's all that there is? And so this method lets me know that I have hit the end and that we're going to be totally clear when I go run my errands or go to work for the day. Now, of course, this will only last you so long because a lot of dogs can have a bowel movement more than once a day. But what it really does is set my dog up for the maximum amount of success. It will make sure that the nights are completely dry. And the dogs are going to want to have a bowel movement after eating. I usually will take them out first thing in the morning and I'll express their bladder and bowels. But if they have a meal and I wait, they have a meal in the evening and then afterwards I'll express their bowels. By eating, it does actually stimulate their bowels. And so everything is just much easier at that point because the body's already ignited. It's already stimulating that bowel movement. And so it makes my job that much easier. You only need two things. I get rubber gloves, just surgical kind of gloves. You can find them in lots of different stores, from your Walmarts to sometimes grocery stores have them, but I don't need them to be super thick, but just something that will protect your hand. And then I usually get some wipes for my dog. I just get baby wipes, and those are the only two things that I use. And then like I said, I'm able to avoid any kind of accident and messes to clean up. Especially too when they have an accident and they drag themselves through it and it's just a big mess and you're like, oh, you've not only got to clean your floor or the bedding, but you got to clean them, and it just is not great. But again, this method, you can avoid all of those things and it's easy peasy. The last thing that I just want to remind you of before we get into the process is to just give yourself a little bit of grace. It may be new to you, and when you go to try it the first time, it might feel a little bit weird. You might not get the results that you want right away, but that's just because it's new. If you keep trying, you will get it. It's like anything. And as always, please feel free to ask me questions. I'm more than happy to help you out. I just want what is best for you, and I want the utmost quality of life for your dog. So give yourself some grace and please ask questions if you need. And so I'm going to be headed out to go run some errands. So I'm going to show you how I express Lucky Boy's bowels before I go. Hang tight. Okay, so Lucky Boy is in his wheelchair and I have my glove on. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the anus. And you're not going to go in very far. You just wiggle back and forth, and he will relax. Now he went to the bathroom, back and forth, and they do kind of bounce around a little bit. Now he went poo by himself, and so he got some out. But here's where the accidents happen. What I'm doing is I'm rubbing the top, his spinal cord, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, gently. And so even though he went poo by himself, he still had more in there, and that's where the accidents happen. That's where, when we come home, that we think we took him out to go potty, but then they have an accident. So wiggle, go back in, and you're just going to press gently up top on their spinal cord and just rub back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that will stimulate the bowel movement. But when I stick my finger in there, I can feel that there is feces in there. So I want to empty out all the bowels to make sure that his bedding and everything is clean. There's a little bit more. And the softer it gets, then you know you're starting to get to the end. There we go. And then what I do is I will pick up his poo. You can do it however you want. I pick up the poo like so, and then I'm going to twist the glove over the top and then use that basically as a poop bag. But I don't need to use a poop bag because I'm just going to use my glove. So let's see if I can show you how I do that here. Okay, so I had to set the video camera down, but I have the feces in my hand. I just grip, I don't squeeze, and then I just take the glove and I put it over the top and take my hand out. And then I can just throw all of this away. And then I just have the wipes because it is hard for them to clean themselves and I don't want any filth on their bedding. So I just use the wipes here. I'm just using Earth Bath, but I use baby wipes, just anything that's gentle. And then I just wipe off the area. And then he's super, super clean. And we are good for hours and hours. Okay, so just to reiterate, you want to make sure that you put the glove on and you're just going to insert your finger ever so gently by wiggling it back and forth. And I use the pad of my finger to stimulate the spinal cord there, and that will elicit the feces. It'll come right out. Remember, the softer it is, the more that you're getting to the end. And also, they may kind of gyrate just a little bit in their chair as you're doing it, and that's normal. But you're only going in, I don't even go into my first knuckle. It might be my first knuckle right in there, but no further than that. You don't need to go in very far. You'll be able to feel at the end of your fingertip that there is more feces in there, and then you know to keep going. But if you don't feel anything or it gets really, really soft, you can stop. But if some dogs will gyrate when you do it, and some dogs won't at all. So Lucky Boy does a little bit. It's just bouncing kind of in their chair, just a little bit. And then, but when I used to do Bam, he didn't do it at all. So it just depends. And again, just give yourself a little bit of grace when you're doing this, because it does take a second. But boy, has this been a lifesaver. I just wish I would have known this when I had my first DM dog. I could have saved her so many accidents. I just didn't know any better. And so on this DM journey, I have learned so much as I've had dog after dog after dog, and I've gotten better and better over time. This is a life changer. This is an absolute life changer. So I really hope that it helps you too. Please ask questions if you need to. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.